come close to perfect marks sometimes, but messy pavement repairs for essential works nicknamed tarmac cowpats are ruining the picture and sticking out like a sore thumb. Look at that.
The town of Cheltenham is fighting back against the street scars, and presenter Rhys Stevenson, not dancing this time,
Is he doing it like that?
went to meet the people trying to get utility companies to take responsibility.
From historic cobbles to carefully laid paving, street surfaces can play a big part in the tone of our towns and cities. But up and down the country, many of our pavements look like this. They're known as street scars. Now, this is when sections of our roads or pavements are dug up, usually for utility purposes, and repaired using tarmac instead of the original materials. Now, it's a quick fix, but it can leave a very noticeable mark that can change the street's appearance, sometimes for months, even years. Even picturesque locations like Cheltenham Spa are not immune. Chair of the Cheltenham Civic Society, Andrew Booton, took me on a tarmac tour of the town. This seems kind of fresh.
Yeah, that's pretty recent, but you can see there are already in total 7 here, all done to different standards.
Oh, look, there's one. Oh, this one's tiny. Oh, wow. They are literally everywhere.
Everywhere. In Cheltenham, we've dubbed them tarmac cowpats, simply because it's a term that catches the public imagination.
Why is this an issue for you?
Cheltenham has a reputation internationally for the quality of its architecture. We live in a beautiful town, and it's such a shame to see it degraded by people who don't care. We all know that high streets and town centres are struggling, and we need to do everything that we can to support them and sustain them, economically and socially, because of course they're social hubs for us all.
When a utility company digs up a street in the UK, it is required by law to make like-for-like repairs completed within 6 months. What like-for-like means is debatable. If it doesn't, the local council can fine it up to £2,500. In Scotland, it's £5,000. Nicholas Boyes-Smith, who founded the social enterprise Create Streets, says that's not happening at a national level.
Utility firms have the right to dig up the road without asking permission for the council. And then even worse, the detailed regulation essentially gives the utility firms certainly lots of wriggle room, and also it gives them the right to define what like for like means. All that adds up to, as we've seen, hundreds and hundreds of cases around the country where the street scars just stay there. They do not get fixed, and the council is then overwhelmed with them and can't enforce it because the fines are not sufficient.
Last year, in Cheltenham, Andrew and the Civic Society launched legal action against Gloucestershire County Council over the condition of the town centre roads and pavements.
We'd spent over 5 years trying to get the local highway authority to bring the highways back into a decent state of repair. We served a Section 56 notice on the local authority under the Highways Act 1980, and that places notice on them to bring a highway back into a state of repair.
After the notice was served, the council promised it would replace temporary repairs with matching paving. The work is yet to be completed, and Andrew wants more to be done.
I'd like to see greater care amongst local government officers, more time spent actually out on site checking the work that's supposed to be done. But I think also they would get then a feel for and identify the trends for those who aren't doing such a good job.
Part of the council's job is also to fine if they don't do these repairs within the 6 months. Do you think the councils are doing that?
No. We put a freedom of information request into our local highway authority, and it revealed that they hadn't levied a single fine for the past 5 years. So clearly they're not using the powers that are given to them by the New Roads and Street Works Act, and that's a shame.
We found that other people are just as annoyed.
So this is what we're calling street scars. Does it bother you?
Oh, yeah.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
You think, why spend all that money? It's like having your house beautifully decorated, get a mark on the wall, so you slap any old paint up on it in a splodge.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't do it.
It takes away from the aesthetic appeal of the place.
Yeah.
You don't replace it with a cheap, easy method.
Yeah, I do a lot of running, so the amount of times I'm almost tripped over on these footpaths is a lot with all the running. So I think for me it's more of a safety thing.
I asked Nicholas what he thinks is going wrong.
Do you think that the current rules are working?
No, the current rules are not working, full stop. I think what seems to have happened is that the utility firms have evolved a process whereby they send one team out to do whatever they need to do and frankly do bodged repairs. And then if they're forced to, if they get round to it, if they remember, X months later, they send around another team with the right equipment to put it back. It'd be perfectly possible just to have the right equipment in the van and probably have a slightly more skilled worker and run a slightly different process and fix it there and then.
What changes would you like to be seen done to the rules?
First of all, forcing utility firms to do it far, far faster than 6 months. And secondly, massively increasing the fines if they don't do it. You could move it to being an unlimited fine, or you could, I guess, allow councils to set the fine themselves.
Is there, though, a chance that the cost of this could come back to consumers with utility companies hiking up their prices or council upping the council tax?
There can be no good reason why it should affect council taxes. You can see that utility firms might well say this will come back to the consumer. Last time I looked, the 10 biggest firms had combined profits of £3 billion. I think they can take a little bit of extra cost on this, and I'd go further actually. I think if they change their process on this, so they've got the right equipment in the van and they expect to do it there and then, it will probably cost them a little bit more than their current process, but I honestly don't think the cost needs to be much more. However, what we do know is that lots of people do worry and find upsetting the degradation of their home, of their neighbourhood, of their community, of their place. Home is something that people spontaneously care about.
If you are concerned about the standard of a street repair in your area or think that a temporary fix has been there for too long, you can contact your local council to make them aware.
Work is always going to be needed to keep the network of utilities beneath our street running smoothly. But the people I've spoken to today believe that efficiency should not come at the cost of our street's visual appeal. And while temporary fixes are necessary occasionally, a lot of people like to see street scars like this one heal a lot faster.
In response to the film, Gloucestershire County Council and the Local Government Association told us that it shares frustrations about the street damage and monitors repairs and temporary fixes closely.
ISPA, the Internet Service Providers Association, said that telecom companies follow regulations and coordinate with councils for street works, which may cause short-term disruption but are necessary for national connectivity benefits.
And Streetworks UK said most road repairs by utility companies meet regulations but are legally required to be fixed if not. It said the Streetworks industry works with the government to increase scrutiny and raise standards.